Bullhorn, Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
And slid down so we can see a red suitcase right here for law enforcement if they're watching and you guys would like to come back here. Of her being out here. So this is what we're doing today. We will see you guys back here real soon.
See, I don't know about y'all, but like for real, I don't mind being talked about. My problem come in when they start making stuff up. So you can talk about me all you want. It is what it is. You know, it's either I did it or I didn't. I said it or I didn't. Whatever the case is, I don't care. I let whoever think whatever, feel whatever. That's on them. You know what I'm saying? But it's the making up part. It's the lying part. It's the adding on to part that always get me. I don't mind being talked about. It's when y'all start lying that bothers me.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, good morning, my beautiful people of YouTube and Twitter. It's nice to see everybody here today. I just want to make sure my mic is doing well, and it looks like it is. Okay, so I hope everybody is having a wonderful Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, everyone. I am going to kill the Twitter feed as we speak right now. I just wanted to let you guys know, if you're on Twitter and you're watching, come on over to YouTube and have this conversation with us about this new case. This is a very concerning case. I must say it is a very concerning case, but I'm killing the feed to Twitter right now. If you guys would like to come over to YouTube, I just posted a link to YouTube over on Twitter. So it's nice to see you guys all here today. And hopefully you guys can come over here. Come over here shortly, right? All right, let me save these changes. Perfect. It's nice to see everybody. Grandmammy Annie, nice to see you. Mama Llama is up in the house. The real me too. Maddie Down, it's nice to see you. Rhonda, it's nice to see you as well. Obsessed with true crime, aren't we all? Net L, Hindsight 2020. Nice to see you, Jody. Teresa, Mel C, it's nice to see you in here today. Huntress, it's nice to see you, my love. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Big boy, nice to see you. Carrie, it's me, Jen. Nice to have you, my friend. Who else do we have up in the house? We got a few people. If I missed you this morning, I just want to say a big shout out. Sweetie Pie, good morning. It's nice to see you as well. Second Thesis. Who else do we have? Skittles is in the house. TLC is me. Good morning, love. The struggle is real. Kelly, GG for life. MJ. So everybody else, this is a big, huge good morning and welcome to the Bullhorn Betty channel. So before we get started with all the gunk and the yuck, I did a lot of research on this next case because it's one that is bothersome for me. It's very bothersome for me. And we're going to go over some of the details of this case. We're going to go over new stuff, and then we're going to backtrack and start going back to the beginning. This is really a horrific and sad case. And I have an idea. I've got a few theories that could have happened with this case, obviously, but it was really hard trying to piece a lot of the pieces. Hey, Mama Bear, it's nice to see you, Wandering Orphan. Good morning. Good morning, guys. It's nice to see you, Unicorn. So it was hard to try to piece this stuff together. So I just took a Word document and just started cutting and pasting everything in and then putting it in order. And that was the best way I could organize this case because he had information over here. And so it was really hard to get a good understanding of what was going on in this young girl's life, what brought us to this point. But as we always do, before we get started, we're going to just hand this over to The Language of Letting Go. For those that are new to my channel, The Language of Letting Go is a codependency book. A lot of us struggle each and every day. All of us have had our own path, how we got where we are today. And so I just find just taking a few moments and remembering we're not alone is always helpful and beneficial. So today is October 18th, and it's talking about taking another look. It's amazing the difference a bit of sky can make. And most of you guys realize at this point that a lot of the people that are recovering alcoholics like to skydive and like, some of these extreme sports. And a lot of the commentary in here is from people that have skydived. So this is no different. Oh, I'm hitting my microphone, so you guys probably just heard that. Let me adjust my microphone ever so slightly. We spend mornings at the Blue Sky Lodge drinking coffee on our back porch, watching the world wake up. One morning after grabbing my cup, I walked out the back to find Frank, a skydiving friend staying at the lodge while visiting from the United Kingdom, busily snapping pictures of the surrounding terrain. Frank, why are you taking pictures of this? I asked. If you want, we can take some more scenic areas around here, or I can take you to some more scenic areas around here. He replies, no way. No one back at home will believe I got to spend my time in a place with a view like this. I looked around and tried to see the view through his eyes. The rolling hills of Southern California were bathed in the golden early morning sunlight, while the light marine layer curled over the ridgeline of the Ortega Mountain, just 3 miles to the west. The sun rose high in the eastern sky like a pale silhouette in the morning sun. I smiled, and for the first time in a while, I took in the sheer beauty of the view. Lately, all I had been seeing were the pile of leaves and the construction materials scattered around the yard, or the cars driving along the road in the valley below us. I had been surrounded with beauty, and yet had grown so accustomed to it that I didn't even notice it anymore. Many times, what we need isn't change of scenery, but a renewed vision of what's already there. Take another look at your life, where you live, your friends, your work, all your gifts. Maybe the view in your life is better than you think. God, renew my spirit. Help me look at my life with a fresh vision. If I don't like what I see, help me look again. So I hope everybody gets, I know everybody kind of gets different messages from this. For each, that message is for you and you alone. But for me, whenever I read this, what it's saying to me is sometimes, and we talk about it, we take everything for granted, right? We live in the mountains. We want to be by the beach. We live by the beach. We want to live in the mountains. We live on the East Coast. We want to live on the West Coast. Maybe we just need to be thankful and have gratitude for what blessings God has already given and bestowed in our life. So anyways, great messaging. I hope you guys got something out of that. I just love the language of letting go. It just really brightens my day before we start piling in on all this emotional stuff. Oh, hey, Jean, it's nice. I want to live on the beach. Well, come visit me in Florida. Come visit me in Florida. We'll go beaching. We'll go do a lot of stuff. Boston Beauty, KK, it's nice to see you. So this next case, as you guys could imagine on the thumbnail, really gripped me this morning, right? So I was doing some research and I stumbled across this article about a 16-year-old girl that was just recently found in the woods. And so my curiosity sparked because many of you know, I don't cover a whole lot of teenagers. I really don't. It's just because there's a lot more runaways. I like to focus, because we're so limited on time, I really like to focus on cases that we can really help on. Not that teenagers, and I'm probably going to get clubbed over the head for saying this, but in all reality, we know that there are a lot of teenagers out there that, as you start growing up, you want to be independent. So you start hating mommy and daddy, and you hate the fact that they're taking the phone away from you. You hate the fact you don't have a job. You hate the fact that you're under their thumb. You hate, so there's a lot of stuff that goes on. I myself was a runaway teenager, right? That's part of my history. It's part of my experience, part of my path. And so it's not that, and when we do have some, we do throw the ones that I catch that grab my attention up here, no matter what their age is. But one of the things are, typically there's a lot of conflict. Not necessarily that the parents are bad, just that the children are learning their way, right? Our parents are hover parents. In this day and age, we have to be, right? But they all want their independence. Yes, grandmammy. Children are absolutely helpless. So it's kind of hard really for me, and I'm sure if it's hard for me, it's hard for a lot of people because we have kids by the thousands, teenage kids by the thousands, literally by the thousands that are running away from home, disappearing. It's hard to decide which ones are runaways, which ones are in danger. All children, when they're not with their mommy and daddy, when they're not at their home and where they're supposed to be, in my opinion, are in danger, right? Even when we know where our children are, they're always in danger. Think about it. Our children, not to scare mom and dads out there, right? That's why we pray, right? Not to scare mommy and daddy out there, but even when we know where our children are going and we give them the keys to our car, right? Accidents happen that can hurt them. So no matter what the situation is, when our children start getting more independent, they have more abilities to make decisions on their own. Well, this young girl went missing. Her family reported her missing within 48 hours. And it was out of sight, out of mind for law enforcement. It appears. Now, I don't want to put words in their mouth, nor do I want to say that they did anything wrong. In situations like this is what we are all accustomed, right? This is the issue that I'm having, right? Which ones are important, which ones are in need, and which ones aren't. You can't tell. That's the problem. There's no secret sauce. So law enforcement dropped the ball. They didn't and it wasn't, I don't want to put it like they dropped the ball intentionally. This was not something that I can foresee that law enforcement did anything wrong at the beginning. I think there were some mistakes on the family's part as well as law enforcement early on that caused problems. So this 16-year-old, obviously we just came off summer break. So it was during her summer break where kids and teenagers have a little more freedom, right? She was just becoming of that age where she could drive. She was looking forward to getting her driver's license and being able to drive around. But for this, for all intents and purposes, she was on foot. Because it was summer, her grandmother, she was living with her grandmother, gave her a little more, just a little more, what's the word I'm looking for, guys, where you let your children kind of live a little, when they're in school, you're like, you got to be home at this time, but you just let them kind of have their summer break. Now, I have to be honest with you, I'm a little concerned about the time, even at her age, of her leaving her home. Okay, we'll get into all that and you'll understand here in a little bit. So there are some things that, that are concerning. Oh, you're fine. Go ahead. No, that's fine. So there was no Amber Alert issued for this next case. Her name's Jakara. Jakarah Marie Lopez-Moore. She's 16 years old. And again, empowerment. Yeah, freedom. Thank you. Yeah, empowerment, freedom. Yeah, that's kind of the realm that I'm in. When it's summer break, you give them a little more freedom and you empower them a little more to go out. So thank you guys. Thank you for helping me. Leeway, real meat. Yes, those are the words I'm looking for that I got tongue tied on. So you just give them a little more leeway. But the problem here is she left at 1:45 in the morning. I'm sorry. I'm not going to criticize. I don't know what's going on. I mean, we can have an idea what's going on in this child's life. She's living with grandma. Grandma she's probably a good kid making good grades. Grandma doesn't have anything to worry about. I'm still a little concerned about a 16-year-old child on foot at 2:00 in the morning. I'm sorry. There's just something that it screams red flags with a young single female under the age of 18, walking alone at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry. I have a problem with it. So the investigative agency is the Rochester Police Department. This is in Moore County. The Moore County Medical Examiner is the ones that identified the remains of Jakara. So getting on with this, she's 16, went missing, the school wasn't in session at the time. She went to Edison Tech High School. She was last seen leaving her home, and she was getting into a gray car with black tents. So I'm assuming that means she was entering a gray car with black tinted windows. Now, I don't know if any of her friends or family happens to be watching this show or anything like that, but I believe that somebody knows or identifies that car or knows who that car belongs to. I really do. I don't know why, but so she was last seen there. Well, here's the weird thing. Her phone last pinged between Clinton and Andrew Street. So this is kind of still all in the same vicinity of where she was. They found the phone, however, on a near a bridge, and it's still, even with that bridge, it's still all in the same general area. But they found her body just recently. So she went missing. We have Ring doorbell camera of her arriving at home at 1:16 a.m. At about 1:45, this is the kicker, we do not have that Ring doorbell camera of her leaving the house. So with that Ring doorbell camera, because you guys know I monitor the behavior of law enforcement, it's telling me, I would have thought that law enforcement would want us to see her the last time, not the time before last, if that makes sense, right? So they're showing us the Ring doorbell camera of her coming to the house. So she was at a friend's house and came home, and she was home about, they got arriving, I think it was around 1:16 in the morning. Well, in the article, it says that she was home for about a half hour, and then she left home again. But they didn't give you the video of her leaving the house, only coming to the house at, a half hour prior to. So it makes me, just that alone, now this is just a theory. It doesn't mean that it holds water, and it doesn't mean that it's true. But I'm theorizing that whatever car picked her up probably drove by that camera, and they do not want that out just yet. For a variety of reasons. Law enforcement is well aware that social media is taking a really strong front on bringing these true crime cases to their audience. So they also know, because it's the internet, that we typically have the ability to work a little faster. So I think law enforcement's directive, because I've been seeing this now for right about a week, maybe a week and a half, the limiting of certain information, the removal of people's last name, for missing people, or not even providing their name at all. I think this is helping them in a way for, like, where you have Charlotte Senna. Had her name not been out there, maybe the kidnapper would not have been able to locate her home, put the ransom note in, which I think broke the case, right? But still, I think there's some measures that law enforcement are saying, wait, our world's getting really crazy. We are all seeing it. And maybe they're saying, hey, maybe we need to start limiting some of this stuff. Maybe we need to stop, providing this type of information, because we know that the web sleuths are picking this up. They're sleuthing. They're able to locate these people. Like, some of us are able to locate people, that need to talk to law enforcement, and law enforcement hasn't even had the time to go and knock on their door yet. I'm serious. Ed. We've had experiences like that too. So I do kind of see why there may be other reasons why they're withholding that that second Ring doorbell camera where she's physically leaving her house. They only have the one coming in. But it could be because it has evidence that they're not wanting out to the public yet. And that may very well be. So that was on the 27th. I can't determine what she did or where she was on the 28th. Okay. I don't, from the 27th to the 29th, when her family reported her missing, I have no clue where she's at. We have no clue I can presume that she most likely was killed in and around that 27th or into the early into the 28th. But I definitely believe that she was probably gone by the time her family reported her on the 29th. There's no activity for her the 30th, for the rest of August. There's no activity for her for the rest of September. And then on October 14th, just 4 days ago, they did discover her in a wooded area. In this area, you can tell, I don't know if she was assaulted there or if it was she was dumped there, but it looks like a great place to dump somebody as opposed to assaulting them. So I don't believe that would have, where they found her body was the primary location of where she lost her life. I think that was a secondary location, and right now they're in the process of trying to locate the primary location where the altercation happened for that. What we have here is police officers were alerted to a body found in the city's west side in the woods at 5 Vanguard Parkway near Erie Canal off West Street, West Emerson Street and Lee Road near a recycling facility. Lopez was in an advanced state of decomp at the time of discovery. Lopez had to be scientifically identified due to the condition of her body. Her body had been there more than a month, which means that's the reason why that statement from law enforcement was the reason why I believe that she was already, her life was already gone by the time her family realized she was missing. I really do believe. It seems like whatever happened and when they dumped her, that she's been there the entire time from that point forward. This is the law enforcement has made this statement. They said this is a very active murder investigation. As a result, only little information can be provided, although law enforcement needs the help of the public. Law enforcement is seeking anyone who knew Jakara or has any information at all. They are asking that if you know her, to call them. If you know what happened to her, to call them. If you have firsthand information, call them. We are going to also caution our audience, please do not call law enforcement with speculation or opinions. All they are seeking are people that have hearsay information from people that have firsthand information or the people that have the direct firsthand information. Those are the people that need to call. Now, if you heard something from something, but you are in that area and you believe that information that you heard from somebody because somebody doesn't want to get in trouble, call that lead in. Those are the only type of leads that I would say would warrant enough to call in. Use your judgment. Use your judgment. And here's the checklist, in my opinion, that you should use. Do you know the victim? Do you know somebody that knows the victim? Do you know the family? Do you know somebody that came into contact with that victim prior to their disappearance? So these are the types of questions you need to be asking yourself. If you've answered no, don't call them in, please. Just don't call them in. Oh, thank you. Blue's my favorite color, believe it or not, Candace. It really is. My favorite color, my absolute favorite color, is an electric metallic blue, which is exactly what my mother painted my first car that I totaled within 2 months of getting. Yes. Yes, I did. All right. So that's the information. Now we're going to get, that's all this is what I forgot to show you guys. And I can't show you any other way. Right there, you see all those dots? You see that blue dot? Right there? All those red dots around this are RSOs. You know what RSOs are. For those that don't know what an RSO is, it's a registered S offender. So those people that like to prey on women and children, those people, those are RSOs. So again, she is in the middle of a whole bunch of these disgusting people. Now, some of these people, let's be honest, did something, they were 19 and had a 16-year-old girlfriend, okay? we have to be realistic here. We're not looking for those people. We're not looking for the ones that fell in love with somebody a few years. Many of us, my ex-husband was 10 years older than me. Okay, so trust me, when it comes to this age stuff, I'm looking for the people. I'm not looking for the ones that mommy and daddy are mad because their daughter decided to, give up her flower and stuff like that. I'm not into family drama and stuff like that. Is there a problem? Yes, it's not. I'm not saying that somebody 10 years older than somebody should be doing that. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, if you have a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old and the 16-year-old parents don't like the 19-year-old and decide to do I'm not looking at those people. I'm looking at the ones that assault, the ones that are violent, the ones that are preying on people. There's a big difference and this is what really upsets me. When you get the government involved, they want cookie cutter, okay? Life is not cookie cutter. My life is not cookie cutter. Your life is not cookie cutter. So this idea that we all fit into this perfect box is ridiculous. And that's what I don't like about our justice system. You saying that everybody is the same or every situation is the same. No, it's not. And I don't like this one size fits all justice system. I don't. I'm sorry. We are required by law to apply the law equally. That's it. We're not required that every single person have the same exact sentencing because certain details of that case are different from one person to another, and those have to be mitigated. But, we need, we'll pause right there for a second. I'm going to move on before we go any further into this. I want to give you guys updated on what's really going on. This is the article that kind of kicked off this entire situation for me. It came out of People magazine. And as you can tell, just the title alone gripped my attention. New York teen reported missing in August, found dead in woods, homicide investigation underway. This is the article I read that perked my curiosity enough to look into it. And she's beautiful. A beautiful 16-year-old girl. And she is gone. And here's the unfortunate situation is her grandmother is going to beat herself up for forever. Because her grandmother, just like many of us, she's done this 1,000 times. She'll be back in a couple hours. Her grandmother wasn't vigilant enough. I'm sorry, she just turned 16 too, guys. A 16-year-old should not be running around the streets at 2 o'clock in the morning alone. But she was picked up by a friend. Okay, she's 16 years old. And so far, it doesn't seem, in fairness, that grandma knows what friend was picking her up. If a 16-year-old child, grandchild, or child I'm caring for is under my care, if they're going out at 2 o'clock in the morning, she's 16, she's, I wouldn't like the time, but hey, it's summer break. Okay. If somebody's picking up that child, you bet your ass they're going to come in the house at 2 o'clock in the morning and say hi to me if I'm awake. Because I want to check and make sure this person's not under any kind of substances or alcohol at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? We want to make sure that if our children are just going to go out and have fun, that they go out and have fun. Doesn't matter what time they have fun, as long as it's good, clean fun. As long as there's no drugs or alcohol or any shenanigans going on, right? Summer break, we'll give our kids some leeway, give our kids some freedom. So there was a lot of mistakes made up early on in this case. Again, no fault. Nobody thinks these things can happen to them. It's not something that you immediately go to. All right. Layla's mom didn't immediately think, she didn't think, Sorry, and whenever I'm live, unless it's in the rumor mill because it's distracting, Jennifer, I get it, but I can't be distracted when I'm on my line or on here. So, guys, I just want to let you know that Sonia, and this is important though, but prayers for Sonia. She just posted that she's in the ER with a nosebleed and has been for an hour. So. Hopefully whatever's going on with her, we can throw some prayer hands up in chat for her. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm sorry. It was just taking me away from the show. Where was I on this? So she leaves the house. I'm just going to show you what happens. But the grandmother her comments were, she should have been more vigilant. And I think that is really, the nuts and bolts of it is that, sometimes, and I think that kind of comes along with the message we had this morning, sometimes we take things for granted, but I think on the flip side of the message is sometimes we forget, we're so comfortable in our life that we forget that there's dangers out there. This child's probably left the house that time, maybe multiple times, always came back, always been to friends' houses, may even have seen that car pick her up before. No big deal. And then it's not a big deal until it becomes a big deal. But the problem is now law enforcement is like, well, she left on her own accord, right? Now we're hearing that from law enforcement. She left on her own accord. How do we know she wasn't angry at you? A parent can sit there and say, look, we have our normal disagreements, right? But law enforcement hears this stuff all the time because remember, thousands of kids go missing every single day because they run away from home and a number of other things. And most of them, okay, not all of them, obviously, but most of them, eventually return home or make contact with law enforcement or resolve their issue. Many of them do. A lot of them don't, but many of them do. So law enforcement didn't activate the Amber Alert. So nobody knew that this child was in extreme danger. And here's the kicker, and what bothers me the most is that they've just made a lot of these modifications to our Amber Alert system. And you guys know my biggest concern was this nonsense right here. Now when we had an Amber Alert system that worked, every child that was missing and we could not find, an Amber Alert went around. Who cares whether it said endangered child or Amber Alert? To me personally, a normal Joe that's not in bureaucracy, that's not a politician, that doesn't want to stick, BS in a situation, why fix something that isn't broken? Because some a-hole says, I'm getting too many notifications. Well, we're sorry that people missing around the country is bothering you, right? Don't buy a cell phone, right? I don't want a black box. I ain't buying a car, right? But either way, nobody cares. I personally don't care. Do you think, how many of you, by a show of ones and twos, if you actually pay attention when that notification comes in, do you pay attention whether it says silver alert, purple alert, blue alert, amber alert, endangered alert? For the normal Joe, government that's sleeping at the wheel, government, the normal people out here, like you guys are I wonder how much that change cost us. I bet you anything that change in the law for this whole Amber Alert probably cost our country millions of dollars because some asshole in DC, right, decides to say, oh my God, we really should delineate these types of alerts. We need to really hone this in, and we probably need to structure this a little better so they have to meet requirements before we can get their child out there to the public, because we don't want to impose idiots running our country. Idiots. And now, guess what? Who's planning on paying for this one? Who's responsible for this child's death, right? In all fairness, without my stuff, in all fairness, she was probably dead before she was even reported missing. It's sad to say it. This is why statistics are so important. This was probably somebody she knew, but is it? Could it have been? A lot of young kids these days are meeting a lot of people online. People don't get out like they used to. They're not meeting significant others in the same general way that you and I met. We went to fairs and looked at a boy and it's like, hi, right? You're kind of cute, right? 16-year-olds aren't meeting people like that anymore, right? Because they're cell phones. We're on computers. We don't go out to, like, say, drive-in movies or even the movie theater. I mean, what are we doing anymore? We used to, when we were growing up, we were told, you need exercise, get out of the house, don't sit on your butt, get out, 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 out. Mom and dad threw us out every day that we were home, like weekends. Mom cleaning the house. Like, kids, get the heck out of my way. Go outside and play. You're not staying in the house. Get outside and get some fresh air. It's a whole different dynamic this day and age where we're forcing our kids in the houses. We don't want our kids going anywhere. Well, we don't want them doing it. So they're meeting people in different ways. They're using apps like Bumble and Tinder and things to meet. Could this have been something where she was catfished? Is this somebody she knew or hung out with? I mean, she did just leave a friend's house, you see. She left a friend's house when she was coming back at 1:16 in the morning before she left. Did she meet somebody at that house and say, let me go home, change some clothes, and come by and pick me up? Pick me up in a half hour. So we don't know. Is this somebody she met online? Is this somebody she met at a friend's house? So let me get on with some information here. I'm going to play some videos for you guys so you guys can just kind of get up to date with what's really going on. I think this is the one. It's sad. This case is sad. Give me just a second, guys. Everything's kind of on my back end is kind of lagging, so just give me a minute.
16-year-old girl has come to a tragic end tonight. Good evening, I'm Matt Malloy. Police say they found the body of Jakarah Lopez-Moore on Saturday, more than a month after she was reported missing. 13 WHAM Stephanie Joseph joins us with the very latest on the investigation tonight. Stephanie, good evening.
Good evening, Matt. Jakara was reported missing in August. Police sent out an alert asking for the community's help finding her.
And I have to be honest with you, like this picture right here, my sister, she wears glasses, she had braces, like I have a picture similar to this of my little sister. I mean, it breaks my heart, okay? I'll be honest with you. This is sickening.
Adding that she may be in danger. They are now investigating her death as a homicide. After weeks of investigating her disappearance, officers were called to woods behind 5 Vanguard Parkway on Saturday, where they found the body of 16-year-old Jakarah Lopez-Moore. Investigators say her body had been there for an unknown period of time and had decomposed. Her remains would later be identified by the medical examiner. Jakara was first reported missing by her family on August 29th, 2 days after she left her home on Weld Street around 1:45 a.m. and never returned. Authorities are not sharing the exact cause of her death at this time, but they say it has been ruled a homicide.
So a couple things that I can tell you that I have not read in any article was, whether she was found with her clothing or not. That's an important, key piece because we don't know what happened to her that night, and she was out at very early in the morning. And what was a little more concerning is that she told her grandmother she was leaving and she'd be back later. And like her grandmother said, that means she's not really going to be gone for very long, just a few hours. And I'm thinking, well, that's pushing her into like 4 and 5 a.m. as coming home. So I mean, that's a little, almost a little too much leeway for my comfort, but I'm not the parent of this child and I don't know what's going on in this child's life. What I can tell you is during my cursory review of this, not that there's anything wrong, but it appears that she was actually in foster care in 2000. Here it is. Here's my notes. Jakara had been in the foster care system, but ran away in 2020. but kept in constant contact with the family. And that's part of the details that I have here is that the concern for the family was they noticed Jakara's phone and location were turned off within the first 24 hours of her disappearance. And if you guys hear me, the reason why that 24 hours is important, because many of you know stranger danger. Typically, when you have a stranger danger situation, the person is usually killed within the first 3 hours of their abduction. And we don't know, again, who owns that gray car with the tinted windows. Could she have been catfished? It's a real possibility. Could this be somebody she knows? It's a real possibility. Could it be somebody she doesn't know? It's a real possibility. But her getting into a car with somebody, it was somebody she definitely had communications with. And it's somebody she definitely had communications with up to the point of her getting in that car. So I am very confident that law enforcement has already identified who owns that car and has already spoken to them, either as a witness or as a suspect. Period. I truly believe that because she would have made those calls. She had somebody pick her up. So there was either online communication or a verbal communication with that person. So that's what we have for that one. Is there more to this?
An investigation into Jakara's death is ongoing. Police are asking.
Yeah, okay. So it is ongoing. We already know that. And I've got several videos that I previewed this morning that I definitely wanted to. It's just slow here. Okay, this is definitely the one that I wanted to show you guys.
And
There we
this
go.
ring video showing
Here it is.
Jakara Lopez-Moore.
Hold on. Let me see if I can turn off. Hold on. Let me see if I can turn off these closed captions. I can't stand closed captions. Okay, let me go back so you guys can see the video. It was just covering the entire video of her. Okay.
Learning more tonight about the 16-year-old Rochester girl found dead weeks after she was reported missing. And this ring video showing Jakara Lopez-Moore just before she disappeared.
We'll just keep
That's her grandmother.
moving, I guess. No. Just hoping we get some closure.
Jakara was missing for about 7 weeks before her body was found in a wooded area.
I just want to say that this is my problem. 7 weeks. Okay? That is, and again, I don't see, I see the system at fault. I don't see any specific person at fault in this. I believe this is because of the changes in our Amber Alert. Why did they have to mess with our Amber Alert? She would have been on the prior Amber Alert. And not only that, where was the endangered person flyer for her? There were none. 7 weeks, a 16-year-old had not been seen or heard from. They knew she was picked up in a car. They found her cell phone. I mean, I don't know how many more red flags could have been provided. Kids don't throw their phones away. They throw a lot of stuff away to shake the tail, so to speak. Shake the people following them, either mommy or daddy or LE. But usually the last thing they will give up begrudgingly. A 16-year-old and her phone are like a husband and a wife in a beautiful courtship in the best marriage you could ever imagine. That is her BFF. Let's be honest. I'm 44 years old and my BFF is my phone. Okay? Not because I want it to be, because it has to be. When you're 16, it's because it's your life. Your life.
Over the weekend. Good evening. I'm Matt Malloy. Now police are searching for the person responsible for that teenager's death. 13 WHAM's Carla Rogner spoke with her grandmother, who says her family still has a lot of questions about what happened. Carla, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Matt. Jakara has been living with her grandmother, Tracy, for the last year. She says the last few days after police found her body have been hectic and tragic, and she still has no idea what happened to her granddaughter.
This ring video from 1:16 in the morning on August 27th shows the last time Jakara would return home from a friend's house. She just turned 16 and was eager to get behind the wheel any chance she got.
Nothing looked unusual. You know, it was just, I thought she was just going to her friend's house.
30 minutes after this video, police say she left again, but never returned. Where she went after leaving home near Weldon-Scio Street remains a mystery. Her grandmother remembers their last conversation.
We were just cutting up about something, and then she said, I'll be back later, you know. Later means a few hours, you know, she wouldn't have been gone that long.
And again, 2:00 in the morning. I mean, you know, again, it's summer vacation. She's 16 years old. You know, some parents let them have a little more leeway than others. And I think that was entirely too late for a 16-year-old to be out. But as you can see the grandmother's face, she's upset.
So then when I woke up and she didn't answer, when her phone was off, then I started getting worried.
She was reported missing 2 days later on August 29th. Her phone last pinged at Clinton and Andrews Street, where family gathered in September, hoping for her safe return. After about 7 weeks of agonizing wondering, police were led to a wooded area about 6 miles from her home. Police say
See, and that is another concern. Police were led. Who led them there? I'm interested in finding out who the person was. Sorry, I got to get my thing out. Who found him? Who found her? And who led law enforcement out there?
this is where Jakara's body was found, between railroad tracks and the Erie Canal, in this heavy brush where it's still taped off behind the...
And as you see why I truly believe this was a dump area, this was not the primary location where the altercation happened that took Jakara's life.
Monroe County Recycling Center. Police say it was a group of fishermen that led them to this location.
So a group of fishermen.
Her body had been there.
So a group of fishermen, and again, I don't believe fishermen had anything to do with it, but what were they doing there, and how would they have located her? I mean, even if you're on the bay and you're just fishing, you're typically, you're not smelling dead things when you're fishing is not uncommon because people clean their fish and kind of leave stuff everywhere. I mean, when you go to clean fish at a cleaning station, it stinks. I know some people don't fish, but I know there's a lot of people in my audience, that men and women, that fish and have been at, understand what I'm talking about. Like, it's not it does, even along the banks as you're fishing, upstate New York, correct? Yeah, Lori Lowe, it's in Rochester, Moore County. But fishermen found the body. Fishermen walked law enforcement out there. I don't think it was the fishermen that found her, but it just makes you wonder, what were they doing? Because it was between the water and the railroad tracks. So I don't know.
There for more than a month. Now the search is on to find who killed Jakarah Lopez-Moore, a 16-year-old girl who was full of ambition.
She wanted to be in the Indianapolis 500 driver. She wanted to be a truck driver.
She liked speed.
She wanted to be a phlebotomist. She wanted to be a nurse. She had a lot of hopes and dreams.
Police say they're not releasing some details of this investigation right now, like how Jakara got to that wooded area or how she died, because they don't want to jeopardize the investigation.
So how she got there, like, it's just, I listen very intently to the words that are being used in some of these things. And it's like, or how she got there, because when you hear they're not releasing how she got there or her cause of death, it implies that they know how she got there. And if it implies that law enforcement knows that how she got there, then it does imply that they know who may be responsible for this. I'm very interested in the outcome of this particular matter. This is, again, like I said, very sad. I mean, there's people in my chat literally listening to us right now that has a 16-year-old child that they just sent off to school. So this is hitting the hearts and the minds of people right here in our chat. This is anybody's child. This is anybody's kid. And it is just very, very sad. Now, this next one is from a month ago. Like I said, we were going to bring us how we got here, this whole, why we're having a conversation about Jakara. And then I was going to bring you guys what brought this conversation up. And then now we're going to start stepping backwards, going back to when this case started breaking and what was being said at those times. This is a video from, again, about a month ago. So she would have been missing for right about a couple weeks, I believe, for this particular. Hold on. There we go.
It's been 2 weeks now since family of Jakarah Lopez-Moore heard from the Rochester teen. Rochester police have been involved, and tonight, community members gathered for a candlelit vigil to raise awareness and hope. News 8's Hayden Wentworth joins us in the studio now with the story. Hayden.
The missing 16-year-old was last seen by her family on August 25th. Earlier this evening, family and friends gathered at Clinton and Andrews Street, the last known location where her cell was pinged, according to her family.
I really don't know life without Jakara.
Jakarah Lopez-Moore, just 16 years old, hasn't been seen by family for 2 weeks. The original police reports state she may be in possible danger. Now, family and friends have turned to the community, asking for any help at all to bring their daughter, sister, and friend home.
I mean, everybody wants me to say that she ran away, but I don't.
See, and this was the beginning. Now you hear her concern that her daughter, and we're about to listen to it anyways, that everybody in law enforcement is making it out as her daughter ran away. Here's the problem. When parents come to law enforcement, nobody knows what the condition of that child is. Nobody. We can assume that they ran away, but what a foolish assumption. You should be assuming that something major is going to happen to them as opposed to them just running away, because if you think of them as being in danger, you're more likely to actually locate them. If you think they're just having a fight with mommy and daddy, clearly law enforcement, just like Bullhorn Betty, right? That was one of the things that I said coming into this, that's concerning for me, is that I don't really pay a lot of attention to these teenage kids. It's an oversight of mine that I need to get better at, because situations like this happen. But I'm not alone. Law enforcement is the same way. And this woman here is out here passing out flyers for her daughter because everybody keeps thinking she's ran away. Her mom knows she hasn't.
I don't think she ran away. I think something happened to her.
Christy Lopez, Jakara's mom, says for her to not reach out, whether by calling or texting, is unusual. So she turned to Facebook for help. That's how Jamila Edwards, the co-founder of nonprofit Mission Hope, heard about it, and she started sharing.
I immediately went into action, trying to post her on social media, receiving a lot of feedback from other people, just trying to be a support to her mother.
Edwards says, even if you don't personally know her, it's important to get the word out.
It's a child. It may not be your child, but she's our child, and we all
Amen.
need to take part in that.
Amen.
Edwards says they will continue to spread the word and help to find Jakara. Police say she was last seen wearing a blue jacket with writing on the back.
And as we know right now, she is no longer with us. It's very, very sad. I want you guys to go out and make her your topic of conversation today, because law enforcement, even though they cannot provide us a whole lot of details in this young girl's death, somebody has answers and they need them. So if you recognize her, if you know the area, if you were in the area, if you were in any of the areas that we discussed, this is it right here. I prepared a map. I sure did, because I wanted you guys to see truly what had happened. So this is Jakara's home, the purple dot here. That's Jakara's home. Okay. This right here is the last place she pinged. Do you see how this is going? She's going right around. You can see almost how she's traveling, the path of travel. It's almost as if she got in this car and then all these things started simultaneously happening. I don't think whoever she got in the car with was who she thought she was getting in the car with for whatever reason. That is my aunt. That's why I keep bringing up catfish. You guys know when I study these cases, how often do you ever hear me say stranger danger? In Charlotte Senna, when it wasn't until we found out that she rode by herself and they found the bike. Remember that? And I said, that sounds like an abduction. That sounds like a snatch and grab. Remember me saying that? How often do you hear me talk about catfishing or somebody that doesn't know somebody picking somebody up thinking they're somebody else? You very rarely hear me say that. Now, I'm not in the back chats, getting any kind of conspiracy theory or infecting my brain with bias or anything like that. This is just when I was reviewing this case, these are the things that were coming to my brain, right? Because you start seeing this, her getting picked up, her last phone ping, and then boom, her phone is now turned off, the location's turned off, the phone's turned off, and the phone's recovered right here on a bridge. Right here on a bridge, like it was thrown out of the car. So these things were all happening simultaneously because you can see the path of travel almost in this map. She's at her home. She goes over wherever they were. What were they doing over there? This might very well be the location of whomever picked her up from the home, because that was in the area that the phone stopped working. And then you start seeing this travel, throwing a phone out of a car, and then a body being found a few miles away from where the phone is. And you just see this perfect path. It's like you could almost draw a line. Let me see if I can draw a line. What color line do we want? It goes boom, 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 and boom. So I can get this there. There's your path of travel right there. It just goes. This all had to have happened within. You guys see that? It's very strategic. So it almost implies for me, looking at this. Now, this is all speculative in nature. Again, I got no crystal ball. But when I see this, when I start, doing this, mapping, I start timelining, I start putting the stuff on a map, I start creating my resources, I'm starting now to develop a theory. And my theory almost implies that she got in a car with somebody, an attack happened inside that car, or they left from that area, went to that secondary location, an attack happened, and then as the person is leaving that location to dump the body, they're turning off the cell phone, they drive by a bridge, they throw it out the window as they're continuing to drive to the dump location. That's what this is saying to me. Okay. Now, again, this is all speculative. There is nothing so far other than what you see here. These are the facts of the case right there. The facts of the case is she was at that purple dot, arrived at that purple dot around 1:16. About a half hour later, around 1:45, where that purple dot is, she walked out of her home and got into a car at the corner, at the intersection near her home, which is on Weld and Scio, or let me see here. Where does it say? I've got it on my sheet here. Last seen, leaving her home, getting into, but it was on Weld. Yeah, Weld and Scio or Silo or something like that with an S. She was getting in a car there, and then they didn't tell us the time the phone last pinged. At least I don't think so. Let's see here. It just says phone last pinged on Clinton and Andrew Street before being shut off. And we definitely know from the statement of the grandmother that happened within the first 24 hours of her being missing. So it would have happened anywhere between that 1:45 in the morning on the 27th to 1:45 in the morning on the 28th. So I have a funny feeling she either got in that car and went back and was attacked at that person's residence, and then he put her in the car and dumped her phone and went to that secondary location, or she was attacked right then and there when she got in the car and as they were making their way there. But I have a funny feeling he would have made a pit stop because she's 16 years old and she's dead. And I guarantee there was a male behind behind the wheel of that car. And I have a funny feeling that this child went through a brutal, well, we know she went through a brutal ending just by the information and where she was located. But it sounds like something more happened, which brings rise to my map, right? Because those dots are bad people. Those dots are bad people. Let's see here. What else do we have? We watched the Ring doorbell camera. Let me see if I've got a whole bunch of tabs open because I did some intense research on this. I just want to make sure that I have all the information that you guys need. And this Democrat and Chronicle.com really is taking the forefront on this case. So if you guys are looking for information to help other creators get this child's face and name out there and her case out there, it is Democrat and Chronicle is the news publication that it's democratandchronicle.com. And it's a great news publication that's really taken the forefront on this. There's many articles about Jakara on here, similar to the one that I'm about to put up here. And this is about her school. The school, obviously, the issue here is they were on summer break when this happened. So the kids left school being friends with Jakara and come back to school with Jakara being deceased. So they're obviously providing a lot of resources and therapies and counseling to those that need it. But I think the important part is this is unexpected even for the students. They don't have a clue what is going on. They're saying that her loss is absolutely and utterly devastating. They say losing a young life is always a profound tragedy, and our thoughts and prayers are with those who are affected by this heartbreaking loss. And a heartbreaking loss it is because, let's face it, we literally have no earthly idea what it's like to go through this. Many of us don't. Some of us in our chat do. We also understand that we have people that are here because of the loss in their life. But this is a 16-year-old child. This is almost unfathomable to think that a 16-year-old can be brutally murdered. I don't know. I don't know a world like that. I don't want to know a world like that. So here's some information that maybe you guys don't know. I think I already pulled all these up. Hold on here. Let me just check here. I pulled up all those articles. My computer's running slow, so you're just going to have to give me just a few moments. And this is where they said that no Amber Alert was triggered. It says the police initially thought she was a runaway and weren't very helpful at first. Andrea, please read Murray's question when you have a moment. Bullhorn Betty, any update on Amber Alert on the two gals from Georgia taken from Burger King? YouTube can't find any. I can't find anything. Two gals. I saw there was something from DeKalb County. Two missing. Hold on. Yeah, I've got it right here. Okay, I've got it right here. Yeah, we'll go over this next. Let me just hold on. Let me get this opened. I've got it. And yes, there's a lot of them. Okay. Columbus girls found safe. No, that was 3 days ago. 2 young girls believed to be abducted. Hold on. Yep, they were found safe. I'm seeing something 3 days ago. Amber Alert canceled. It says Columbus, Georgia. An Amber Alert was canceled Monday after 2 girls believed to be abducted in Georgia were found safe, according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. An 11-year-old and a 4-year-old were taken from Burger King before noon Sunday at 2301 Veterans Parkway in Muskogee County. On Monday, Columbus police called off the alert, saying both girls were found safe in southern Georgia at 11:30 a.m. They did not say if anyone was in custody. Police say they continue to investigate, adding that charges could still be filed in the girls' abductions. Let me see what else. This one came out here. 2 girls, let's just keep reading, is issued. This was published on the 17th at 7:07 a.m. So that was just yesterday. So I wonder if there's more girls that are... 2 girls abducted from Burger King over the weekend have been found. Okay, so there it is. They've been found, guys. They were found safe, but they don't indicate who had them or if there's charges. Oh, it's me, Jen. Thank you. Gifted 1 Bullhorn Betty membership. Once I get to you, I'll post it up on the thing, the chat. If you received your gifted membership, please don't forget to tell it's me, Jen. Thank you. Thank you, Jen. So that's good news. We have 2 girls that were potentially abducted that were found safely and returned. Now, we don't know, just because they were found safely, we heard found safe with Charlotte Senna, and we know that she may have been found safe, but we know she's anything but okay, right? We know that something really bad happened to her, but she's safe, right? She's safe. She's going to live. She's living. She's breathing. She can breathe air. She's got all 10 fingers, all 10 toes. She's safe. She has an opportunity to recover. Just because these kids, it sounds good on its face. The 2 girls were found and recovered safely, but we don't know if that was necessarily the truth. We don't know if anything happened, because that type of crime, law enforcement is prohibited from letting us know, because they have their policies and procedures, and a crime like that is a very personal and private crime. So if these girls were found safe, but something else happened, we wouldn't know. I just want to let you know. So just pray for them. Pray that this was just all a misunderstanding, and they were not only happy and healthy and returned home safely, but unharmed, right? Unharmed. That's what we want with our children. We want them unharmed, not just returned safely, but returned safely and unharmed. And many times our children may come home safe, but they are harmed. Thank you. Thank you for that, Mermaid. We always want any and all cases that are breaking, especially when it comes to our young children. If you've got to distract the chat. If Jen, you got to start calling me, right? I don't like being interrupted on the show, but if you had to, right, with Sonia, you had to, right? Sonia's not doing well, so we needed to know that. You need to stop me, right? You need to make some noise. Let me see if there's anything else I can provide to you on Jakara. I think we can all just... when was this one? I think this might be one of the first. So this is one of the first ones that I think this is the first one that was aired. Hold on. I think this is the first one that was aired. But we're going to have we're going to have a little commercial, and then we'll listen to this. I think this was one of the first ones. This was September 4th.
$27 an hour. And
so I'm
$5,000 signing bonus. Apply today. We have a missing person to tell you about this afternoon. Rochester police tell us that 16-year-old Jakarah Lopez-Moore is missing. She was last seen leaving her Weld Street house on August 25th, and she may be in danger. Jakarah was last seen wearing a blue denim jacket with writing on the back. Anyone with information about her whereabouts is asked to call 911.
So that was, I'm pretty sure that was the original broadcast, because it was hard, because, you know, when you hear a 16-year-old disappear and you hear it happened on, it was reported on the 29th. When I do my searches, I always try to pull the brand, you know, when it broke, I wanted to see what information they were saying at the time the case broke. So, because you can derive a lot of information over time, they may decide to hold back or pull back on that information, but they let it go at the beginning. So you can really find some little tidbits of information. So I was trying to go back to the origin of these cases, and I was expecting, if she was reported missing on the 29th, certainly by the 30th, they would be having, newspaper articles, videos, whatever going on with Jakarah. It wasn't. The first one that I could find online anywhere was on September 4th. Now, that doesn't mean there's not something that exists out there. I just haven't found it. But I'm still going to be working on this case. I am looking into this case. This is a 16-year-old child that was murdered. This is no joke. And I wanted to tell you about our case because we need to help law enforcement. They can't give us a whole lot of details. I'm not asking people to start accusing people of doing anything to this young girl. We just need to get some information rolling into law enforcement to help solidify their case. I have to tell you, listening to law enforcement with all of this, guys, again, it's based on several things, and it's hard to explain how I do this for me. You know, everybody's got to find their own, what works for them. But when I'm listening to law enforcement, I'm listening for key information. I'm listening for key words. Now, we don't just search keywords. We listen for keywords as well. And here, it sounds to me like they have a person of interest. I don't know why I have this feeling about this case. It's just a few things in the way that they were said that implies to me that they know who is responsible. They've already spoken to the person responsible. And to me, it seems like they're trying to find information to charge that person. So if you have any information, if you've seen if you're in the area and you know or see a gray car with tinted windows, turn it in. Turn it in. If you know the person driving it, if you have some information, maybe the person's violent, maybe you've heard the person has fooled around with young kids in the past, maybe something like that, call that information in. Law enforcement needs your help. Jakarah and her family need your help. Law enforcement truly did not know that she was missing. They thought she ran away. As many of us do. It's a common mistake. And you know what? I make the mistake and I feel bad. And you know what it does for me? It makes me want to do better. It makes me want to do better. And I hope it makes everybody else want to do better as well. She needs answers. Look at her. She is just beautiful. Gorgeous. Another beautiful angel taken off this world entirely too early. And it's sad. It's really sad. So, guys, that's really all I have for today for you guys. I have to be honest today. Yesterday, I got everything that needed to be done. I have a few Scrivener errors in there, but it is what it is. I mean, it is. That's what you get for proofreading your own work. But it's done. And it was a long time coming. It was a lot of research. It was a lot of work. So today, even though I spent a lot of time from about 4 o'clock this morning until we went live. What time did we go live? About 8, I think it was. So 4 hours. I did 4 hours of deep diving into this case. Not near as much as this case deserves. But I'm not going to, I'll dive back into this case later this afternoon. But I've been working my tail off. And so today I'm getting off early on hump day. I'm not going to be back the rest of the day. Tomorrow we'll have a live, and then I'm going to my best friend's house to enjoy myself all day tomorrow. And then Friday we're getting back to work, and I think we are going on the road. So we're going for a field trip. So if you guys are interested in what Bullhorn Betty's going to be doing, you're going to want to tune in on Friday. God bless each and every one of you guys. A lot of people in our realm encompasses a lot of people. There's a lot of struggles here, you know. I personally have struggles, right? You guys see them. My struggles are a little more public than most, right? But I struggle. I know each and every one of you struggle. You guys struggle with the kids. You guys struggle with paying the bills. You guys struggle with a multitude of things. Some of you guys are single parents, and so you're struggling with the balance of life, right? It's sometimes very easy to be nasty and mean. And I really hope that people start taking the side of love and kindness. I really do. We could really do something spectacular here, and we can really help a lot of people. So I hope people start getting more focused on doing the right thing than doing the wrong thing. But either way, I'm going to take the rest of the day off. I may take tomorrow off. I don't know. If you guys want to support me taking tomorrow off, you guys know how to do it. But otherwise, you guys will see me bright and early. God bless you. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And let's start focusing on our teenagers, guys. Our teenagers need our help. This is one child we could have helped that we dropped the ball on. We all dropped the ball. Now, could we have helped save her life? Maybe not. But we could have gotten the asshole off the street a lot sooner. So don't forget, we're also still looking for Rachel Morin's killer. I have to tell you, I've got a theory. We might be back later today, because now that I'm kind of, I forgot about Rachel Morin. We got some theories on Rachel Morin that actually might hold water, and it might be a little different than you think. Guys, I think they have the guy that killed I think the guy that killed Rachel Morin's in jail on unrelated charges. I absolutely do. There's a few things that were in a report that lead me to believe that. Remember, in lack of information, I look at behavior, right? I look at behavior and I listen to speech. I listen to the words that they say. You got to understand that law enforcement. Oh, thank you. Love you. God bless you. I got to come see you. I miss you. Reach out to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I want to give you my number. So anyways, guys, but we'll get better. We're going to talk about Rachel Morin, but I truly believe that the guy's in jail. And you want to know why? Because I'm being redundant here because I stopped in the middle of my sentence, but it's because there's things that were said. It was the way they were said. It was when law enforcement puts these press conferences together, like they have attorneys read them, like it's very strategic. The words they use, how they formulate the sentences, and how they deliver the message. Had I not had past politics in my past, and I would not know all of this. But I work heavily with law enforcement here in Manatee County. I work heavily with, I haven't for a while. I mean, I will be honest with you. I can't remember the last time I've been at a meeting, but I'm going to be going back, starting here soon. We've got to start getting ready, for the gunk, the political gunk. And it's just, I don't know. Those letters and the statements are specified the way they're specified for a purpose. And I got to go back to the sentence. I want to try to think what he said, but he said something. I think it's the fact that It was about the forensic drawing and why they won't release it. And then after that, it was something else. But think about it: a guy that came all the way from Los Angeles over to Maryland, hurt a little girl in Los Angeles, came over to Maryland, murdered a beautiful woman, and then all of a sudden, nobody's looking for the guy. They've stopped looking for him. I mean, they keep saying that they're still looking for him, but how much publicity are they really putting forward toward a man that literally came across the country from once? Might as well have the conversation now. What the hell? Literally came across the country. And it was, you saw how many press conferences they are. We need to find this guy, find this guy, find this guy. He's going to do this again. He's going to do this again. He's going to do this again. Right. And then boom, nothing. You barely can get law enforcement to say boo. And when they do, they refuse to provide us a photo of him. Why? Because they have him in custody. And they don't want to let us know they have him in custody because people like me would literally take the photo of him and go through every single inmate that they have until we make a positive connection. Right? We positively identify which animal it is, right? We might want to do that. I truly believe the guy's in jail. There's something that, because I just truly believe if this law enforcement had the opportunity and this guy still was running the streets of the United States and they still haven't put out a forensic photo of him, a forensic rendering from the attack that happened in Los Angeles, and we find out this animal is out there to attack another person, do you know how much chaos that would cause for that law enforcement? Think about that. There ain't no way. If that guy was still out there, they would force that. I don't care who, the governor would force the law enforcement. You better put that, if one person dies at the hands of this guy, one more person, and you guys refuse to put that photo out there, you're responsible for that person's death. I truly believe they have the guy behind bars. I truly believe they're building a case against him. I don't know who he is. He still has yet to be identified. But it just seems to me, as gruesome and as brutal as this attack was, for them to be so unconcerned about this man's whereabouts all of a sudden, or not pushing for the identity of this man the way that they were once pushing, it just leads me to believe that he's in custody. So that's good news. That's good news. But again, that's just my opinion. We have no facts supporting that. Therefore, you guys should be vigilant with your surroundings, as you should always be. But moreover, that this guy could still be out there and preying on another unsuspecting female. So just be careful. But there's just something in my gut. He's already been picked up on unrelated charges. Just something in my gut. I trust my gut on these things. I could be totally wrong. But I think we will find out in the end. And again, let's say a prayer for Jakara, her friends, her family, and her teachers. She seemed like a bright, beautiful young girl. She seemed responsible. She seemed like she was just ready to be a teenager and have fun. And somebody snuffed that from her. Somebody snuffed that from her. All right, guys, be careful, be safe, love your family, and don't forget to call a friend and let them know you care. God bless.